Hi, I'm King Noble Dumbass. I also go by Harold Eugene DeMoss Jr. I'm my father's namesake, in case you don't know what that means, or in Spanish, his tocayo, his namesake. Now, I'm coming here to do this video to go a stroll down memory lane and some of my family. I actually did go to White Castle with one of these two guys. When I showed this to the Obama campaign in Edward Snowden's hometown, they said, "You lost a lot of weight." I go, "No, that's my cousin, King David." I was showing these pictures off at a AA meeting today at the Pioneers Club. Family photo. It's my uncle, my dad's oldest brother, his 3 kids, his now widow. I don't know if she's still alive or not. I hear my cousin has diabetes, had to amputate a leg. My cousin Curtis here, well, he's not gay, but his boyfriend is or was, I don't know. Apparently him and my uncle had a feud going for a while because of that, and well, before my uncle passed away in I think 2001, somewhere in there. I just remember I was down in TJ when I got the message. I was with another uncle whose address I'm currently using right now. My aunt, my brother, my grandmother, and my brother's 3 kids. These kids are actually all old today. My grandmother, I wasn't at her funeral. No one told me about it, because I'm the black sheep of the family. My aunt, however, this is her husband with Governor Schwarzenegger. Now, Governor Schwarzenegger had no idea that, well, my brother doesn't like it. I'm accusing this guy of being a pedophile. What? Well, when Arnold worked on the DARE campaign under Nancy and Ronald Reagan and under George Bush, a hero of mine. I mean, people say he can't act, but I'm sorry, I was terrified under the Conan the Barbarian. Some big machine like him, like, come on, tell me, take out here you go, just don't kill me. But the man that in the photo with him actually fed me methamphetamines when I was 14 years old, put me right in front of pornography. Now, I'm watching right now on YouTube a lot of these videos. I'm seeing different stuff I know it's AI, whatever, but it has to do with the trial going on about the P. Diddy thing. And I don't know, none of my business. I don't know, I really don't want to focus on that. I don't like to get into gossip, but I'm seeing all these famous P. Diddy, because he has power and he's satanic, whatever, rituals, whatever, I don't know. But I will say, for the people that are coming through with this, that had to get off their chest, I'm doing this for the same reason. I lost a cousin of mine to a drunk driver Easter Sunday, 2000. I was working as a Las Vegas cab driver at the time. I took a week or so off to come home for the funeral. My aunt's husband had given his life to Jesus. Well, to most people that sounds, oh great. But like his youngest son had said, he was just doing it for show. Just to shut my aunt up. You know, like I was telling them at the AA meeting I was at the Pioneers Club earlier today, that, well, the spirit of John Lennon kind of entered me and told me to slap the crap out of my aunt with some of that instant karma. Because when she asked what I wanted to do, and I said I'd like to go check out the secret garden of Siegfried and Roy, the first words out of my Christian aunt's mouth were, "Those 2 faggots." And I had to slap her with, that was a kind, loving, non-judgmental thing for you to say. Now, one woman there at the meeting was very kind to me today, and she caught the thing I was talking about, that when I was locked up at George Bailey for the stabbing of Pete Cisneros over at NAMI, the inmates would keep saying, "Where do I know you from?" And well, I close my eyes and say, "The Shroud of Turin." Most people don't know what that is, but if you were raised Catholic, it's that blanket that they put over Jesus. I mean, supposedly the blood swept into it, and from what I've seen a YouTube video said it was miraculously painted and left behind, and not by human hands. And supposedly they've done scientific research on it to say that, yeah, it miraculous, like a photograph. You know, another lady I know outside of the rooms of NA and AA, who I typically do smoke pot with. She doesn't like the foul mouth that comes with me because of the angry of the bipolar, but apparently it's not getting the right kind of attention from people who just don't understand. I am that upset. I've challenged the mayor here of Chula Vista a couple times to come live the way I do. I have another photo here that was taken in Tijuana. Me and my late aunt. I wasn't at her funeral either. I was told about it after the fact by the uncle whose address I'm using to get my mail. His brother, well, I guess he has it too. I mean, they both have, I guess, the same kind of cancer. It's the same stuff that Biden's going through. And they both want to let me use their addresses for both citizenships. I'm trying to post this up for Enrique Camarera, I think his name is. He's, I think, the judge in my case. I want him to understand that when I killed that phone in front of the police station, think about it, the frustration I'm under, where I'm sleep deprived. There's an individual I know from the rooms of NAMI, which were actually, before it was NAMI, it was Vision's Clubhouse here in Chula Vista, run by County Mental Health and now taken over by NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Well, a couple weeks ago, there was another guy from the downtown NAMI, and I met him across the street over at the library. Turns out he's gay. He invited me over to his place to take a shower and get cleaned up. Maybe get some rest for the night. His boyfriend was there. He introduced me to his boyfriend. Boyfriend went to bed. Boyfriend was going to go see his mom in the morning. And, well, this guy stayed up all night. I took my shower, listened to him talk about stuff. He put this big air mattress out for me. I laid down. He kept plopping it. Whoa, I couldn't get no sleep. So he probably, if he sees this, and I probably won't understand why I won't call him back, why I won't go back there, because it was more trouble than he was worth. I don't really have any friends. The only family I got are the people in my circle from the AA meetings that I'm going to right now. They're actually teaching me to be more the way they are. See, I'm a firm believer in evolution. I've seen it. I've spent enough times in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous to watch a person that comes in here whose life is out of control because they're complete screw-ups. And after when they first come in there and they're court-ordered by the judge, and I'm not, they blame God for everything that's happened to them. It's not till they work some of those steps that are in those rooms that they finally realize that, why am I blaming God when He gave me free will and this is what I did with it? The last photo I'm about to show you here, it's my pride and joy. Taken with the granddaughter, that's Zuri Marley, daughter to another hero of mine, Ziggy Marley. And as you saw the photo with my aunt's husband, with my hero, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm also very proud of Arnold, of the videos he's done since the insurrection that Donald Trump started, when he almost had the Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence, murdered. Geez, I wouldn't want to be his vice president a second time. But if you notice, most of these people that originally signed up, kind of like a P. Diddy thing, like, oh, I forget his name. I've actually gotten a lot of respect for him since. The New Jersey guy, oh shit, what's his name? And what's funny is I've seen him talk very much anti-Trump, and he was one of those ones that signed that thing, the Trump pledge, and now turned his back on him. Matter of fact, there was another lawyer that went to jail for Trump that, you know what, tear up that contract. I mean, if I was these guys, I'd be feeling like the guys from the P. Diddy trial right now. I'm seeing things saying Eddie Murphy said he made him suck his what? DiCaprio saying he made me do Jim Carrey, what? And I'm sure all that stuff's all AI'd. I remember back when I was living in Edward Snowden's hometown in North Carolina, Elizabeth City, North Carolina, in case you're really interested, Pasquotank County. I worked at this factory owned by Warren Buffett, and I would pass this church 6 days a week, and it gave me my mission statement. It read it right on their thing both ways, and I saw that 6 times a day because it's my grandmother's name, Esperanza. What would Esperanza be doing in North Carolina? Well, it said it in English, not in Spanish. Hope. Helping ordinary people excel. To a lot of those guys back there in Relapse Row at the Pioneers Club, I like hanging around with these guys because they like really pushing the days when they used to be able to do drugs, when they could smoke pot, like I do pretty much most days today. I'm saying that because of another guy at the Seventh-day Adventist church where I was kicked out one Sunday, and he even was saying, I suspect you for being under the influence. I could gladly take you off property, but I want to do it in front of the kids. That's what I kept trying to tell those guys from NAMI that were staying over at the library back there when Allison Hamlin, the librarian, had opened the door and Ted's trying to hand me a joint. I'm thinking, take it somewhere else, dude. Frankie, the guy who actually assaulted me, and I went to jail for assaulting him with my flashlight, which was a taser in it. Now, I don't need the taser to beat his ass. I gotta do that with my hands. I actually have the police report where he assaulted me. Ted jumps in there and tried to throw me into a headlock. I went into the crocodile death roll. Not too many people know that martial art move, but if you study jiu-jitsu, it's almost natural. You're comfortable on the ground. I never studied, but I did study a little Chinese Kempo in Vegas under Sensei Miguel Hiro, a Cuban man. And I really didn't like Cubans and Puerto Ricans and whatnot. My favorite band's from Puerto Rico. I thought they were butchering my language, Spanish, but no, it's just a different dialect. And I've grown up and learned to understand and appreciate the differences in dialects. My favorite band is from Puerto Rico, as far as Latin reggae music, Cultura Profética, Spanish for the prophetic culture. I love their album Mota, which is Spanish for, well, slang term for marijuana, weed. In the song, he says it towards the end, he spells out that and says it's clearly saying it's weed, but it's more than just a weed. It's something more profound than that. And Damian Marley and quite a few other artists like Kabaka Pyramid and Protege, not to mention his big brother, Kaimani. I think the whole family smokes marijuana pretty much. Much like Willie Nelson and Snoop Dogg. Hell, Martha Stewart don't even have to smoke. She just hangs out with Snoop Dogg. Ooh, I'm stoned. Yeah. I wouldn't mind working with her too, because I mean, here she's got some hemp yarn, and well, I do this art called kumihimo, where I turn yarn into like paracord, make these cool tie-dyed bracelets. I kind of got inspired by a sister in the rooms of NA who's pagan. She makes all this art that she does. It's actually just simple child stuff you get over at Hobby Lobby, but that's what stuff I do. It's child's play. And it's fun, it's therapeutic. But when I was living with Lucifer, the Morningstar Cervantes, before I went to jail, that's all he wanted me to do, is just that. He didn't understand. I had like several looms all going. He bagged them all up for me, and well, he rented out my room before he even called to tell me that, hey, yeah, sorry, I hear you're in jail. No, he went to go ahead and I asked him to get me a better lawyer, but he said no. I asked him to get me somebody with the Innocence Project, which he wouldn't. He said my lawyer was great, and I'm not really happy with my lawyer. I'm not happy with the public pretender's office at all. See, in the rooms of NA, there's a saying that says, a closed mouth don't get fed. But the problem with that is you're also told, shut up and listen. Well, if I was told to shut up, how am I supposed to tell someone I'm hungry? I'm homeless. I mean, can't you smell me? I stink. Haven't had a shower in a couple of weeks. But no, these idiots think I'm just a bum because I like being stinky, and no, I don't. But like I said, the lady that said that, she wants to see some of my art. Next time I see her, I'll break out the iPad and show her. I had some other photos that I no longer have where I took a selfie with the guys from Cess Crew on Tech Nine's label. And it was interesting because at the Pioneers Club today, somebody said, if you think you can test the waters, go back, try and have just 2 or 3 drinks at a bar. Well, I did. When I was in Colorado, I had probably 4 or 5 Pepsis or Dr. Pepper, whatever, but I didn't drink no alcohol. I'm there for the music. Another homeless guy that I knew at the time was getting paid $80 a night to play the drums. And he says most nights, other drummers want to kick in. Yeah, it was an open mic night type thing, but it's basically open mic for whoever wants to play whatever you want to play in the band. And then it's like playing rock band with actual instruments, with actual musicians. And yeah, it was great. He actually said he saw me in my element because I'm out there dancing, having a good time with the ladies. And it's funny because I hear the ladies at the Pioneer Club talking about these guys that are homosexual because they like spending so much time in jail, and they keep going back because they don't like being out with the women. Matter of fact, I heard this very beautiful lady give me the definition of the word BITCH. Beautiful, intelligent, talented, hardworking, charming. And I'd be one. I bet she is. I can attest to that. She's very much all those. And she's also Indian. She was in the Army. She was in the shipyard industry. She has to apologize for her foul mouth at the AA meeting. That's hilarious. And when she said that I called her a sexy one when the meeting was over, and she understood I was appreciating the joke. And I had her define it to me, and I still couldn't get it. I had to have her do it yet again. And can you explain that to me once again so I get it out? And I typed it up into the thing so I wouldn't forget it, and it was great. Since then, I've seen her on 3rd Avenue, and she's waving at me and honking, and other guys another guy that I haven't seen in a while, I saw him down around 3rd Avenue, and there's a lot of bars on 3rd Avenue, and he says, like I do, that there's quite a few people in that AA meeting I go to that probably smoke pot, and who cares? It's legal. But no, you can't do that. No, this is Alcoholics Anonymous, not Narcotics Anonymous. But I don't know. Too many people like to gossip and get into that, and they forget that put the principle before the personality. But no, they like to put the personality before the principle. So yeah. Sometimes I feel like I'm being 13th step, but oh well, I don't care. Matter of fact, I was asked to leave because I was there an hour early, but it's a former employer's employee who's now living at the Pioneers. It was Joe Rosso's employee, as a matter of fact. But that's okay. I can put the principle before the personality. He may be in a very tough situation like the P. Diddy thing because of his boss, and maybe not be allowed to talk to me or something like that. I don't know. It happened to me once when I worked at the Excalibur. Outside of work, I was studying witchcraft from Lady Morgana and Lord Mordred. I think there was a Pendragon, but I think he came from California and was gay. But anyways, they had a book they were teaching out of by a guy named Andrew Gardner, or something like that, Gardner. And he believed that if we all got naked, and yeah, that's what it would take to run off Adolf Hitler, but I'm pretty sure Adolf Hitler would have just shot all the naked people and said, okay, let's get out of it, clean this place up and get going. I don't think a bunch of nudity is going to stop a tyrant. I mean, didn't stop P. Diddy. Didn't stop Donald Trump's buddy, what was his name? Epstein? Yeah. And saw an interesting video of a guy praying for Trump, and I have to too. I mean, the Bible does tell me I have to, but I've also heard the thing said, and several times by several preachers, that God would forgive the devil himself if he'd just repent, but he won't. And that's kind of where where I stand on Trump. I don't think he really will, but I'm praying for it. Well, I think I've gone on long enough. I am not only King Noble Dumbass, but I'm also the homeless motivator. I think that's what I'm going to title this video.